have a subscription for almost everything in my life. Anything that comes to this house regularly is likely on some sort of subscription schedule. I have subscriptions for my razors, my feminine products, even the heads to my toothbrush. And then I also have the more typical subscriptions. I have a couple of boxes that come every quarter. My dog even has a subscription box. So it would only make sense that we would now have a coffee subscription service. Trade for sending me this coffee for free, but the thoughts and opinions on this product are all of my own. So quarantine and marriage have really changed the way that we drink coffee. Now, it hasn't changed the frequency that we drink coffee. It's now just double in our house. So Bryan and I love coffee. We start the day off with about 2 cups, and then we always have some throughout the day, whether that be my 2 o'clock coffee to help fight that normal workday slump, or just when we're getting a hankering maybe at 4 p.m. So when we were going through the registering process right before we got married, I knew that I wanted to get rid of my Keurig coffee maker. I just felt like the K-cups were a little bit wasteful, and while they're so convenient, they don't even necessarily make the best coffee. It can sometimes just taste a little bit watery, and Bryan had all this fancy coffee equipment already. He has this awesome grinder, and he had this great single cup coffee maker, but that didn't really make sense for the amount of coffee that we were drinking. So we opted to register for kind of a dual single cup and carafe coffee brewer. We've really enjoyed making like 8 to 10 cups in the morning and then having it warm sitting on the little eye all day so that we can drink it whenever we want. And on the single cup side, we do have one of those reusable little K-cups so we can still put our fresh ground coffee into that. So also during quarantine, we bought a new house, and that new house happens to be a lot farther away from our favorite local coffee shop where we would typically go to buy just like bags of whole bean coffee that we could grind here ourselves. But when that drive started to become about an hour to drive to our local coffee shop to go get that coffee, we decided there had to be a better way for us to get good coffee to our door. And so that's where the Trade coffee subscription comes in. So the first thing that you do is visit the Trade website and take their quiz. This is a coffee subscription that's catered to your taste. They'll ask you questions about the types of coffee that you like, the format of your coffee. Do you prefer whole bean or do you prefer it to be already ground? You talk about which type of roast that you like, whether that be light, medium, or dark. And then you also talk about the taste profile of your coffee. Now, I'm somebody that thinks that fancy coffee always tastes like blueberries, and I really just like my coffee to taste like coffee. I pick the more classic kind of traditional roast, and then they curate the coffee based on all of your quiz answers. So it's really cool. You're kind of guaranteed to end up with a good cup. And they also have this guarantee where if you don't like the first order that you get, you can contact them and they'll make it right, which is pretty cool. So this subscription also comes in your selected frequency, and they're all in week increments. So if you feel like you can go through an entire bag of coffee in a week, you can get this delivered once a week, every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's all up to you and how quickly you drink a bag of coffee. And then outside of frequency, you also have quantity. So you can order 1 bag or you can choose the 2-bag option. Now, when you choose the 2-bag option, you're actually gonna get 2 of the same bag of coffee. So keep that in mind. You don't get like 2 different coffees, so it's not a variety pack. So I would suggest in the beginning, just going with the 1-bag order to figure out if you like it. You can have these shipped more often. You can try out a bunch of different coffees. And when you finally land on one that you absolutely love, that's when I would switch over to the 2 bags of coffee, because this is a big commitment because I feel like 1 bag of coffee lasts a pretty long time. Now, another cool thing is the freshness of this coffee. So every single bag is sent to you within 24 hours of that specific roaster actually roasting your beans. So because we ended up getting 4 bags of coffee sent to our house, these actually came in 3 different shipments. I got these 2 together and then these 2 separate because they all came from different roasters. Each shipment will come with a compostable bag, instructions about how to actually compost that bag, the actual bag of coffee or 2 bags of coffee if you choose that option, and then lastly a sheet that kind of tells you about the coffee, how it tastes, and then your overall price that you paid for it. And because these coffees are coming from different roasters, that means that there's not just one set price for this subscription, which does make it a little bit different from a lot of the subscription services on the market. Typically, like with my perfume subscription and my razor subscription, those things are set prices because it's a set quantity of the exact same product coming to you at a specified frequency. And because these are all coming from separate roasters, they come from different batch sizes and everything, the prices will vary quite a bit. So let's say you find your favorite bag of coffee and you don't want to rely on the subscription to send you something new because you've just found the one that you don't want to vary from. You can go onto their website to the shop area and you can either type in the name of the coffee or you can filter on the side by price and by region of the world that you want this coffee to come from, and it will display which coffees are available for you there. But they also have a third option for you. You actually have the option to gift a trade coffee subscription to somebody, and this is something that I think I'm definitely going to do with my brother for Christmas this year. So Tyler, if you're watching, please just forget that I said this. I think that subscription gifts are really cool. It's kind of a way for you to keep on giving past that holiday, and it kind of keeps the celebration going. So if you like coffee as much as we do and you want to get in on this subscription service, I'll have a link in the description box below for you to subscribe through, and you always get 30% off of your first order. And don't forget, they have that first order guarantee where if you don't like your coffee, they will be sure to make it right. So if you like this video, then like it, stick around, subscribe, join the community, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.